Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome in our podcast here in Anchor. Our heart is to impart to our listeners about faith, family, and finance. And this afternoon, guys, I'm very excited to have our guest. And actually, just to introduce him, he's a personal mentor to me, and he's a speaker and an author, entrepreneur. He has done a lot of talks over thousands in a decade, and he is conducting public speaking seminars to a lot of people. Sir Jason's, ayan, nabanggit ko na yung pangalan niya. Sir Jason's primary aim is to positively impact and change the lives of other people to achieve their fullest potential. He's a best-selling author of Unique Youth, Uniquely in Love, and the book Determined. He's also an entrepreneur, and I've attended a lot of his seminars and masterclass. And without further ado, guys, let's welcome in our show Mr. Jayson Lo. Hi, Sir Jason. Good afternoon.
Hello, Carlo. Thank you for having me in your show and congratulations. I think you have many episodes already.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Thank
happy to
you.
be here.
Thank you,
Ilang
sir,
episodes na
for...
tayo?
Actually, sir, this is the 17th episode na po. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, sir, for helping me sa journey. And to our viewers, I'm excited, sir, sa mga i-impart nyo sa amin kasi I believe this topic is very relevant as we end the year and of course to start 2021 to have a perspective about the different personality types. And Sir Jason, siguro just to ask if you can share something kung ano po yung mga napagdaanan ninyo, why did you came up with this topic about the unique personality types?
I have been in business for quite some time and I started my first business when I was around 18 years old. Yung mga small businesses na you're selling stuff. And then one thing led to another. I became part of a direct selling company and dun ako nag-start sa speaking and I came across this program years ago. I think that was like napaghahalata ng age na parang almost 20 years ago. Tapos yung nakita ko siya, I loved the program, immersed myself in it. And from there, pag tinuturo ko siya, people would comment that it should have been taught in school. So I taught it for like more than 10 years and thought of writing a book. So yung book na yan, ang tagal nang nasa utak ko, hindi ko siya ginagawa. But then eventually, I wrote the book and contextualized it for a Filipino setting. Yung four types of people. Tapos now I've taught it in different groups, from companies to churches to the government, mga police, mga sundalo. Nakakatuwa siya, no? Kasi tama yung sabi nila that this is something basic that all of us should understand. And yung application niya, it's really vast. From parang yung ano mo, yung core mo, which is family, finances, and also faith, it's all applicable there. So about the four types of people, the book is unique.
Yeah, amazing. For our audiences, sir, I remembered I've read the book around 2013 and it made an impact to me personally kasi it's applicable in every aspect of my life. And siguro, sir, we can dive in dun sa different personality types for our audiences. Ano po ba yung mga classification for our viewers to at least get to know the different aspects?
Yeah, yung four types, it's from the disc profiling by William Marston since the 1920s. And from the book to programs where we go deeper to workshops, yung apat na types na yan, the first is the D, the dominant. The animal that I use there is an eagle. And then yung influential naman is the rooster. Yan, si Carlo is a rooster. The S naman is the steady, Carabao. And then the C naman is the corrective, Tarsier. So yung dominant, eagle, yan yung mga tao who are dominants, who directs people, they want to lead everyone. Kaya ang nangyari sa mga dominants, no, sila yung mga make things happen people. They love the motto of Nike, just do it. And they make things happen. Weakness naman nila is that dahil ganun sila, aggressive, yun din yung kanilang nagiging weakness. They become overly aggressive. to the point that they offend people, to the point that nakakalimutan nila that people have feelings. So they are favorite P word is powerful and their favorite song is My Way. Alam niyo na kung bakit. Yung first personality type.
Grabe, Sir Jason. No? When I understood the different personality types, siguro yung dominant muna, sir. Nagulat ako kasi mas naintindihan ko rin yung mga tao sa paligid ko. Especially if you're in the corporate world, siguro shout out ko yung mga friends ko working right now or even the holiday season, no? Yung mga friends ko na accountant, alam ko naghahabol kayo ng deadline and sometimes may mga immediate heads tayo na feeling natin talagang pushy sila pero pag naintindihan nyo na dominant pala yung personality nila, mas ma-appreciate natin why ganun yung approach nila sa atin. So, wag tayo ma-offend sa mga dominant personality, no, guys. So, grabe. Maganda yung personality nila and kailangan maintindihan natin sila on how it can relate to other people. So, ano naman, sir, yung next po natin na personality type?
May kukwento lang ako, Carlo. May isa akong
Yeah.
talk sa isang real estate company. So this is a huge company. And yung break, isa sa mga managers lumapit sa akin,
Yes, sir.
umiiyak. Naiiyak-iyak siya, tapos lumuluha-luha siya. Sabi niya, Sir, naiintindihan ko na po yung boss ko. Yung boss niya, isa sa mga may-ari ng company who's also a good friend. Sabi niya, naiintindihan ko na po yung boss ko kung bakit siya ganyan.
Grabe, sir.
Yung second, they are the influential roosters. Influential roosters, they love ideas, they're creative, they love people. And just before this, I had a meeting with a high influential rooster. Yung husband naman niya is a dominant, is a corrective dominant. Sabi niya, nako, itong misis ko, nasisiraan na ng bait. Hindi niya na kaya kasi pandemic, high ay, kailangan lumabas, kailangan may kasamang, may makausap, makitang tao. Yung nag-meeting kami, nasa restaurant sila. Kakamit lang ng ibang tao, no? And ang mga influentials, they're like that. Weakness naman ng influentials is they are a bit forgetful and they get blinded by shiny objects kasi nawawala yung kanilang focus dahil marami masyadong activities yung nangyayari behind the scenes. Favorite P word is popular. Favorite song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Yan ang mga influential roosters.
I love, Sir Jason, yung mga kaibigan natin na influential roosters kasi usually nagbibigay din sila ng energy, no, sa mga groups, sa mga meetings. So shout out din sa mga friends natin na influential rooster. Shout out ko na rin yung friend ko, I think influential rooster siya, si Anthony Romero. Bro, grabe bro. Thank you for your personality sa group para mas maging masaya.
Kala ko
So,
sasabihin mo, I love myself kasi rooster ka din, di ba?
yes, sir. Oo. So, grabe. Masaya, masaya pong kasama yung mga influential rooster. And how about, sir, the third personality type?
Yung steady Carabao naman, sila naman ang mga consistent, reliable, and magaling sila sa routine tasks, yung paulit-ulit. They are the best listeners among the group. Weakness naman ng steady Carabaos is nagiging, ano sila, no? They avoid confrontation and hirap sila to make decisions, especially major decisions. Ang favorite P word nila is peaceful. They don't want to rock the boat. And ang favorite song nila, We Are the World. And yung mga steady Carabaos. So yun yung third personality type.
Yeah, amazing, sir. No? Grabe, nasa third personality type pa lang tayo. Pero parang mas nako-connect ko na yung mga interaction ko with my friends and even in my family. Kasi minsan, hindi ko rin maintindihan bakit nga ba parang may mga taong hirap mag-decide or may mga tao naman na ayaw talaga nila ng conflict. Actually, ako, sir, minsan may pagka-steady rin ako kasi parang pag merong mga discussion like sa amin ng wife ko, may passionate discussion kami. Gusto ko magkabati kami agad eh. So, sa mga married dito, I believe you can relate, di ba? If you're a steady Carabao, gusto natin peaceful lang palagi sa bahay.
Wife mo is dominant, no?
Yes, Sir Jason. Paano niyo po nalaman?
Nakita ko sa face niya sa social media.
Sir.
Pati sa face nakikita mo tsaka sa demeanor nila. Just by looking at the face, you will have a clue. So when I saw her face, nakikita na na dominant siya.
Grabe sir, no? Grabe tong unique personality type guys, no? Imagine kahit sa ngiti pa lang, pwede na nating ma-assess kung ano ba yung personality type ng kausap natin. So, how about sir, the fourth type of the personality? Ano po ba yung, kumbaga yung ugali nila Sir Days?
Yeah, yung fourth type is the corrective Tarsier. Kasi yung Tarsier, they're quite analytical and mabilis sila ma-stress. Ang Tarsier, alam mo ba, hindi mo pwedeng hawakan kasi it's under law. I think sa isang, nabasa ko sa isang article na si Rihanna, syempre, she's a celebrity. Nakita, pinost niya sa social media niyan, may hawak-hawak siyang Tarsier. Bawal yun. I think it was in another country and the one who allowed her was almost imprisoned because of that. Ang mga correctives, ganun din sila, no? Kasi isip sila ng isip. In fact, itong pandemic na to, isa sila sa mga pinaka naapektuhan because they love to think. That's their strength. They're good with analyzing. They're good with numbers, observation. Ang weakness naman nila is analysis paralysis. So isip ng isip. Kaya nagiging sila ang pinaka-susceptible sa depression among the four. So favorite P word is perfect and favorite song, You Are Perfect.
I believe sir, yung mga corrective tarsier natin na viewers ngayon, tinitignan na nila kung magkano pa yung budget nila in the coming days, these holidays. Nagko-compute na sila, making sure na yung budget nila so sobra pa rin. No? So maganda rin yung combination if meron kayong kasama sa bahay na corrective tarsier para kunyari yung linis ng bahay nyo ma-maintain kasi gusto nila maayos lahat. So grabe sir, no? Knowing these four personality types, it gives me an advantage on how to interact with other people. But the most frequently asked question, Sir Jason, why is it important to know these personality types and integrate it in our personal lives or even in our business, how it can be an advantage to us?
Kasi the highest form of wisdom is knowing yourself. So, second to God. But yung wisdom na yan, pag kilala mo yung sarili mo, and there have been so many books written about it. Si Sun Tzu, Art of War, 'di ba? Yan ang sinasabi niya know yourself, know your enemy. Some naman said that only to find out the enemy is yourself, right? So it's a battle within. And yung awareness yan, pag nakilala mo yung kung sino ka, you will be liberated. I teach this and it's called the triple A model. Becoming aware of who you are, okay? And then learning to accept yourself. Kasi contrary to popular belief, they would say na may programa pa. Ang tawag limitless, right?
Yeah,
But
yes sir.
it's not true. We're not limitless. We're not limitless. We have limits. And the more you understand your limits, the more you will focus on what you are good at. And the more you will seem limitless to other people because you're doing things na inside of your strength zone. Right?
Yeah.
So okay na we leave our comfort zone but never leave our strength zone. I think it was John Maxwell who said that. And then finally yung adapt. Nag-a-adapt tayo sa iba't ibang mga tao. Nag-a-adapt tayo sa iba't ibang mga sitwasyon.
Yeah.
Before this, I had an interview also ng isang podcast show. And the one who interviewed me there, ibang-ibang personality with you.
Yes,
So
sir.
kung paano ako sumasagot ngayon, iba din yung dynamics. Kaya pag nakaka-adapt tayo, he who is the most flexible has the most influence. Kaya pag sa negosyo, meron kang one style lang, hindi po pwedeng one style fits all Kailangan naiintindihan mo na ang kasama mo, kailangan mong matutong mag-adapt sa kanila. And ang negosyo, mahirap lahat ng negosyo dahil merong tao. Ang lahat ng negosyo, mabilis lang naman ang negosyo Pero pag may tao na, mahirap na siya. Kaya importante to all businesses out there.
Yeah, grabe sir. I love what you mentioned, no, that as you understand yourself, you will also understand other people. And I think, ako personally sir, nung naintindihan ko yung different personality types, unti-unti rin ako nag-adjust with the people around me. And siguro yung mga viewers po natin ngayon na minsan nagsistruggle sila in relating with other people, it's very important din na malaman nila yung personality types nila and the people around them so they can adapt like what you mentioned, sir, no? Kasi minsan, nagkakaroon din ng struggle sa relationships, sa family man to or sa work, if they don't know the person, di ba? Kung sino man yung ka-interact nila. So, the question now, Sir Jason, knowing na meron tayong four types of personalities, how can our audiences, sir, at least identify their dominant personality types? Do we have at least a program or a system or the book, sir, no? Pagka gusto po nilang basahin.
Yeah, yeah. Yung sa book kasi meron nun test para malaman nyo kung sino kayo. And then from there, kasi a test is just a, of course, test for you to know. The question is what's next. The book will help them. And I'm grateful that there are people who message me. Just today, I think there were like three people who sent me a message sharing na the book helped them. Yung isa, sabi niya, binasa daw niya 3 times. Nakilala niya kung sino siya. Yung isa naman, nalaman niya na no, kung bakit siya ganun. Normal pala siya.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, meron din mga, may mga programs din ako, yung mga workshops where we go deeper in terms of the application. Kasi knowledge is knowledge, but knowledge is not power. It's really the application that counts. Parang napanood mo na yung Queen's Gambit, Carlo?
Yes, sir. Actually, episode 1 pa lang. And I see, sobrang powerful, sir. No? Hindi ko pa lang matuloy-tuloy, pero maganda po yung series. Yeah.
Napanood namin siya. Nag-binge kami 1 weekend. And nakakatawa kasi nakita ko sa isang post na yung Queen's Gambit pala. Ngayon parang there are like millions of people. Yung searches niya umangat ng chess. Yung chessboards, ang daming mga nabenta ngayon. And after 38 years, naging siya, parang bestseller yata yung book. Parang ganon. Kung
Wow.
titignan mo kasi yung chess, marunong ka mag-chess?
Ako, sir. Yes, medyo marunong naman.
'Di ba? Pero magaling ka ba mag-chess?
Hindi, sir. Actually, marunong lang eh.
Ganon din yung ganon din yung disc. Kasi maraming tao pag nakita na nila, parang alam na nila. Yes, alam ko na. Pero para siyang chess. Merong mga
Yeah.
levels na pag natutunan mo pa yung mga levels, mas malaki yung value that you will receive from it. And once na naintindihan mo siya, kumbaga hindi lang maintindihan yung capacity natin. Tatlo kasi yan eh. Una is knowledge, pangalawa is capacity. Yung capacity, gaano ka, kumbaga, kagaling, and gaano mo na-apply yung knowledge na yon. And then finally, the most important is the willingness. Willingness means, do you have the maturity to adapt to others and not say that this is me, you have to adapt to me. Yun yung maling application ng programa.
Yeah. Grabe, no, guys. Sobrang dami kong learnings kay Sir Jason even until now, no. Nabasa ko na yung book ni Sir Jason and nakikinig din ako ng podcast niya. And if you want to check your personality types, guys, please check his book, YOUnique. And we will also post a link dito sa podcast natin para makapag-avail kayo if you want to check your personality type. And even until now, Sir Jason, ang dami ko pa rin natututunan. And sabi ko nga, if mas maraming tao yung makakabasa ng book or at least maintindihan nila yung personality types nila, I believe it can help us also in the progress of our community and eventually in city and eventually in our nation. No? Kasi if mas marami pong tao yung magiging understanding or mag-a-adapt sa mga ibang personalities and magiging flexible, magkakaroon sir ng transformation. No? I believe, no? Even sa business world kasi I've encountered a lot of friends na nag-struggle sila with the relationship of their colleagues or sa boss nila. So, sobrang important nitong four personality types for our viewers. And, sir, I have a question. No? Naging curious lang ako. If ever nalaman na namin yung personality types namin, for example, ang dominant sa akin is influential and steady. Will it be possible, sir, na magkaroon ng changes along the way or after a few years sa personality type ko? Or possible po ba yun na nagbabago-bago?
Yeah. Yung natin, no, by the way, itong sinishare ko sa ating mga listeners, no, I just call this personality type kasi yun yung naiintindihan ng tao na term. Pero
Okay.
wala talagang way kahit anong assessment para malaman yung personality natin as a whole. Dahil we are marami tayong mga facets na unique to us. Like yung ating birth order, panganay ka ba, bunso ka ba, saan ka nag-aral, ano yung natapos mo, ano yung background mo before, your family. So yun yung ano niya. With regards naman, ito ang more consistent no term niya is on your behaviors. Pero let's call it
Yeah.
ano, ina-explain ko lang yung background niya no. Um, Now, yung tanong mo with regards to us, kung nagbabago ba, by default, you are who you are
Yeah.
kasi yan ang pinaka-comfortable ka eh. Pero in situations, it changes. It can change. So let's say, sa work, dominante ka.
Yes.
Pero pagdating sa bahay, steady. Dahil mas dominante si Mrs. Yung mga ganon.
Yeah.
Oo. Or sa work, influential ka dahil kailangan, nasa sales ka. Tapos pagdating naman sa bahay, ano ka, mas corrective ka. So, it can change, but meron kasing method no on how you can change permanently and change situationally. Ganon.
Wow.
Parang ako, ano ako, pag nagsispeak ako, lalo na pag live, I don't know if you've seen me live, no? Kasi nagkakilala tayo sa Zoom.
Sa Zoom. Yeah, sir. I have heard you na po live sa mga
Talaga,
events.
talaga.
Apo,
Saan to?
yeah.
Saan to?
I think, sir, sa Victory Green Hills po.
Sobrang tagal na yata nito.
Apo, medyo matagal na, sir.
So, yung mga ibang majority, if I ask the crowd what my type is, the personality type that they would say is influential.
Yeah.
But I'm not an influential. My influential is actually close to zero. But when it comes to my work, it has become permanent in me. Na pag nag-speak ako, mukha akong influential kasi kailangan ko sa trabaho eh. I'm not saying that the dominant, steady, and corrective are not good speakers. They are.
Yeah.
But yung style nung sa akin, since 1 hour siya, big crowds, you need that type in a way to help you connect with the audience. Before, hirap ako. Kasi hindi ako yun eh. Pero, yun nga, there's this process that I teach also na eventually it will become part of you.
Amazing, Sir Jason. Hindi ko po nahalata na hindi kayo talaga naturally influential.
Ganun ba?
Ako, hindi ko po nahalata. And guys, no, sa mga viewers natin, I love what Sir Jason mentioned. We can change permanently and situationally. So in that way, we can adjust sa work natin or even our roles at home. So kung magagawa natin yun, mas magiging productive tayo, I believe, and efficient kasi we can adapt dun sa kailangan natin na gawin or even sa situation kung nasan tayo. And I also like yung sinabi ni Sir Jason na it's about our unique ano ba din personality na ano ba yung pagkaka-create sa atin ni God. Kasi bawat tao merong uniqueness and in that way, we will appreciate more kung sino tayo and of course, yung mga tao rin sa paligid natin. Kasi in a bigger perspective, mas magiging interactive tayo and mas magiging maganda yung relationship kasi I believe it's very important to have harmonious relationships with the people around you kasi especially in your family or in your business, people will really help you to succeed kasi hindi naman natin kaya lahat gawin. Pero if we focus on our strengths, if we focus dun sa pwedeng makatulong sa atin na tao, mas magiging maganda yung milestones natin sa life. So, Sir
Right.
Jason, sobrang dami ko pong learnings no, in our discussion. And I think, sir, pwede ko po bang i-ask if you have tips sa 2021 considering na people are looking forward sa recovery or at least sa mangyayari sa global perspective.
Nagkaroon tayo ng lockdown, 'di ba? Physical
Yeah.
lockdown. Pero ang mga tao ngayon nasa mental lockdown na eh
Mm-hmm.
dahil sa mga nangyayari. And this 2021, we can see that the best is really yet to come dahil down na down yung marami sa atin noong 2020. So in 2021, makikita natin unti-unti mag-open up lalo yung ating economy. And then they say that yung vaccine madedevelop na rin siya. So instead of really looking at just the outside, you have to find ways yourself. Since we talk about faith also, no, one thing that rest assured if you live by God's standards, you live by His word, you are not living in the world's economy, but you are living in God's economy. Kaya yung buhay natin, no, it's not really about the trends lang. It's not
Yeah.
about the fads. Maraming mga dadating dyan ng mga trends, maraming mga dadating dyan ng mga fads. But ako personally, no, I believe and I try to live by the Word of God, biblical principles. So pag biblical principles ang fina-follow natin, then we will reap the results. We will reap the yung harvest na yon na finalo natin. Yun lang ang problema kasi mga principles minsan mahirap siyang sundin. Kumbaga, pag sabi sa Bible, it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. Diba? Ang hirap naman nun. May mga ibang contrary to what the world teaches. But the more you grab hold of these principles, parang for example, principle of gravity. Alam mo, Carlon, di ako naniniwala sa principle of gravity eh. Iba kasi ang pananaw ko sa buhay, iba yung values ko. So itong cellphone na to, pag binato ko to, kahit anong mangyari, mahuhulog siya.
Yeah.
Dahil binabangga ko principle eh. So how do we make our values congruent with principles? And more than that, biblical principles that can really help us along the way. So, practical naman no na itong 2021, kailangan talaga natin, nakita kasi natin kung ano yung mga importante sa buhay eh.
Yeah.
Unang-una, we can live with less. Di ba? First time kong hindi bumili ng damit, except t-shirt. First time ko, guilty. First time kong hindi bumili ng pantalon, ng sapatos, ng kung ano man, this pandemic.
Yeah.
Pwede naman. And feeling ko next year mukhang di rin ako bibili. Kasi meron naman ako mga gamit pa. Um, First time namin kumain sa bahay ng 1 month, 2 months, homemade food.
Yeah.
Pwede pala. So we can live with less. Second, it's really about relationships. More than anything else, yung relationships, no? The most important things in life are not things, they are relationships. And nakakausap ko yung family ko for the first time, almost every week. We see each other, usually mga once or twice a year.
Wow.
Ngayon, I see my family mga once, almost every week nagkikita-kita kami. Sana pagtapos na yung pandemic, kahit na busy na, we can meet more often. And then third, yun nga, you don't live in the world's economy. You live in God's
Yeah.
economy. Check whatever you have right now in your hands and how do you develop that. Don't compare yourself to others. And from there, make the best of the opportunities that you have right now.
Amazing, Sir Jason. No? Living with less, valuing relationships, and of course, living in God's economy. I believe for our audiences, the reason why our podcast is entitled Anchored because we want to be anchored to the one who created us and of course, our provider, our Lord. Kasi lahat naman ng meron tayo ngayon are temporary and if we are secured na siya yung bahala sa atin, we can be hopeful this 2021. Grabe Sir Jason, sobrang meaningful po ng guesting ninyo dito sa podcast. Hopefully, there will be another episode na pwede po kayo. And siguro sir, before we wrap up, do you have upcoming events and webinars or maybe book launching so we can invite our audience as well in Spotify or even in YouTube?
Yeah, you can check out my podcast, The YOUnique Life. It just started like yours, mga 10th episode pa lang yata. Tapos, you can check out my social media handles to be updated. So you can follow me on Jayson Lo, that's JAYSONLO, on Facebook and Instagram to get updated with upcoming events. And they can check out some of the books that I have there also.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Jason, to our audience for investing your time with us. And always remember, guys, to stay anchored and see you again in our next episode.